English, Grade 4, Block 1, Close Reading, The Golden Goose. Good morning, children. This is your teacher, Shikha. Grade 4 children, hope you all are doing good and studying. As we have already done the story, The Golden Goose and The Torch. Main element of doing these stories are learning the beginning, the middle and the end part of the story. Now, this video is in connection, it's a connecting video where I am going to share all the answers with you. This is a support video. All the answers from your practice questions which you have to write down in your notebook and share it with me in your English group so that I will come to know about your practice, about your learning. Also, I am going to share a test paper with you. So be ready with your answers. Question 1. How many characters are there in the Golden Goose? List them all. Very simple. I have told you so many times. This is my answer. I am reading it out. There are 4 characters in the story: the woman, the goose, and the old woman's 2 daughters. You need to write down all the answers. Few answers are very big. Second question. Why did the woman call the goose closer to her? The woman called the goose closer to her so that she could pull out all its golden feathers. Third question. Who is the main character in the story? The Golden Goose. Why do you think that character is the main one? Either the Golden Goose or the old woman could be considered the main characters. Sample response. My answer is the main character in the story is the Golden Goose, because if the Golden Goose did not decide to give the old woman and her family its golden feathers, there would be no story. Fourth one, it's true or false about these 2 sentences. Write true or false if they are F. Rewrite the correct statement. So I have written the correct statement and I am sharing it with you. A. False. The old woman and her daughters lived in a mud house with creaking doors and windows. Write down your answer. B. False. The goose decided to give the old woman its feathers when it saw that the old woman was poor. Fifth question. Read the beginning and the end of the story, then write the middle of the story. Now, this is another story. This is not Golden Goose. It's a story of Yokio. So the answer here is Little big. I am reading it out. Answer. We have to write the middle part of the story. So Yukio ran and got a small bucket of water and threw it on the whale's head. Yukio kept running back and forth by getting buckets of water to pour over the whale's body. His grandfather and the villagers came to help him. They all removed their jackets, soaked it with the water and put it on the whale's back. After this, they ran and got buckets of water and threw it on the whale. Slowly, the sea came closer and closer, and the whale felt much better. This was answer number 5. Now, 6th question. Answer. I am saying the answer. The question is, imagine that the white feathered goose did not fly away after the old woman pulled out all its feathers. How would you end the story? How would you end the story? So my answer is, which you can write down, the goose was sad but angry, so it flew away to tell the rest of its family what had happened. Its family was angry that the woman and her daughters hurt the helpful goose. So they flew to the woman's house and scared her and her daughters. The woman and her daughters moved away. This is my answer. Now answer number 7 is very big. Use the given keywords to create your own story with a beginning, middle and end. Here, these are the keywords. And you have to write your own story with beginning, middle and end. My story starts from here and up till here. I am reading it out. You can write down this or you can write on your own story. Answer. Mr. Ram and his wife were doctors who worked in Bangalore. They had 2 children. Every year the children got Diwali vacations. This year, Mr. Ram gave his family a hint of his plan to take them for a trek into the Thekade forest. The family was excited. Soon vacation time arrived. Mr. Ram and his family took a flight to Trivandrum in Kerala. When the aeroplane landed, they knew their holiday had begun. From the airport, they went to hotel and rested. The children could hardly wait for the next day. They were very excited. The next day, they took a taxi which dropped them close to the forest. From there, they had to take a boat across the river to meet the guide. Their guide led them into the dense green forest. He told them to be quiet so as not to disturb the wildlife there. After a few hours, Mr. Ram and his wife realized that their children were missing. They had wandered off in another direction. The children had been whispering to each other while walking. When they heard other voices, they realized that the 2 old trees were talking to each other. The children looked at each other in amazement, exclaiming, "Talking trees?" They were both were excited, but a little scared too. As they looked up, a large branch of one of the trees grabbed them both. They cried out in fear. The trees promised not to hurt them. They only wanted to know why the children were there. The children told them that they were there just to explore the forest, so the trees let them go. The children ran as fast as they could towards their parents and the guide. They were happy to see them and told them all about the talking trees. This is my answer. And so I am done with block 1 practice question. Now I am going to volume 1 S1. Can you see? I have written my answers which I am going to read out loud. S1. The Golden Goose. Fill in the story map. Write new words in the last box. Here comes settings. Here comes characters. In setting, the story happened outside an old mud house. In characters, a woman, 2 daughters, and a golden goose. At the beginning of the story, I am reading it out loud. Beginning. The goose saw the poor woman with her daughters and felt sad for them. It decided to leave a golden feather every day on the ledge so that they could make money by selling it in the market. Write down, okay? In the middle of the story. I'm reading it. The woman and her daughters were happy, but the woman became greedy and wanted more money. So she planned to catch the goose and pull out all his feathers. At the end of the story, I'm reading this. You write down. The woman caught the goose, but when she pulled out the feathers, they turned white. The goose flew. This made the woman realize her mistake. My word list. Creaking, ledge, firm, wept, folly, dismay. I have already shared these words with you. Done with S1. Now beginning, middle and end. S2. Label the paragraphs as beginning, middle and end from the story The Golden Goose. Children, you have to read all these lines and find out which one is beginning, which one is middle and which one is end. I have written first one is beginning, second is middle, last one is end. Sorry. First one is beginning, second one is end, last one is middle. Don't make the mistake. Match the following. Middle one is C. Beginning one is A, end is B. S3. Identify key details. Fill in the boxes with the key details from the story The Golden Goose and the reason why they are key. Key details, why they are key details. Okay. One sentence and the connecting sentence over here. I am reading. The old woman and her 2 daughters lived in a mud house. Why? This is key detail I am reading. It tells us the setting of the story and about the character. Second point. There lived a magical goose. Why? The other side. It tells us about the main character in the story. So, I am done with beginning part. Key details and why they are key details. Now we are doing middle part. Key details and why they are key details. I am reading it. Key details. The third point. The goose decided to give the woman a golden feather every day to help them. Now this side, why it is key detail. It is the main action in the story. The remaining story is told after this. Fourth point, the middle section. The woman and her family were happy now. Why their key details, there you have to write. It tells us how the family felt after the goose decided to help them. Fifth point. The woman got greedy and decided to catch the goose and pull out all its feathers. Why this is a key detail? This action is important because it tells us what the ending will be like and helps us learn a lesson from the story. So, we are done with the middle part of key details and why they are key details section. Now I am going to read the end. Sixth point. The woman realized her foolishness of being greedy. Other side. It tells us about the feeling of a character after the action. Seventh point in the end section, the goose flew away. Why it is key detail. It tells us what happened to the main character after the action. I am done with the end part. Identify key details, we have done that. Now, the last S4, key details in a summary. Read the summary paragraph of The Dog and the Bone. It is a similar kind of a story with similar type of a message where the paragraph is given and some question points are given. I am reading this question. Circle the character and setting in the beginning of the paragraph. So I have circled dog and I have circled over here. Plank over a stream. These are the character and the setting in the beginning of the paragraph. Second, underline the most important action in the middle of the paragraph. I have underlined. Can you see? Third point, underline the sentence that tells us how the character changed at the end of the paragraph. So I have underlined this last line. Fourth, use key details from S3 to write a summary paragraph about the golden goose in your notebook. Use at least 3 keywords from S1. You have to write this on your own. I have explained this many times. From here, S1, you will get all the summary of the story. Check your writing using the checklist below. The last thing, I am doing this. My answers are here. My paragraph introduces the character and the setting. Yes. My paragraph includes key details about the beginning, middle and the end of the story. Yes. All my sentences are about the topic. Yes. All my sentences begin with capital letters and end with full stop. Yes. I use at least 3 new words. Yes. So children, we are done with close reading, the practice question and volume 1, S1, S2, S3, S4. Please write down all the answers and share it with me. Be ready with your writing work because soon I am going to share a test paper with you. So if you have your answers, it will be easy for you to figure out. Main thing is how to think, find out key details and find out the beginning part of the story, middle part of the story and end part of the story. Main characters. Okay children, take care. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.